G'day everybody, Ran here. Episode 4, the Supra, yes. So we got the Supra back from Western Australia. That was a ordeal within itself, but super cool to do that trip with the dad. And if you've watched episode 3, you'll know what happened. Not that we put everything in there, but if not, go check out episode 3, push pause, go rewind, go watch it. So the Supra was built by John Glasson in Western Australia, and it's a 3.5 litre Rover twin turbo powered beast. By the look of it, John was right into camshafts and lots of sort of the intricacies. It looks like it's got Yellow Terra race heads on it. I'm assuming that it will have a fair bit of good stuff inside it. We're going to pull that down with Gary Roberts, who from Mini Muscle Cars, who's quite apt at Rover motors and building them and such, because that's what they run in their Mini Muscle Cars. So it's running twin Garretts. It's making around about 620 horsepower with 850 Newton meters of torque. So it's going to be quite a weapon. It's the cool thing about it is John has, by the look of it, handmade nearly everything on this car. The intakes, he's relocated where the injectors are. He's made his own, it looks like he's made his own intercooler. He's used 2 small radiators for the space. Looks like he's made his own header tank. There's so much on this car that now you could buy it. But maybe in the 90s when John was building it, you couldn't. But it's pretty cool. The more we've looked at it, the more we've found just unique stuff. So we're going to try and retain as much of that as we can. Look, the aluminium welding, it obviously doesn't leak. Some of it is not as pretty as, it could be, but it works. And I think when it's cleaned up, maybe ceramic coated for heat issues, because it's going to produce a fair bit of heat. I'm pretty impressed that John was able to drive this, being that one of the turbos is next to your clutch foot, which is pretty epic. So also we found that it's got a Perkin Engineering GetRag gearbox in it. So it's a PE88, so Perkins Engineering 1988, and it's number 10 gearbox. And I spoke to Jack Perkins, and sure enough, they built lots. Larry bought as many as he could, all the ones you could find in the country, and built them all for Dick Johnson Racing, and I think it was Seaton and himself. I don't know all the details. Jack doesn't know all the details, but I really appreciate that he got back to me. And yeah, so it's a pretty special gearbox. So we haven't decided if we're going to run that. We think we're going to sell it because we'd rather go to a transaxle or a sequential modern box that we can get parts for very easily. Obviously new technology, you would think would make them stronger as well. So it just seems like it's probably a gearbox that will be better suited to someone with a Group A or Group C car that uses the GetRag box. And it's got a Commodore diff in it as well, which again, if we go transaxle, we will replace that. Looks like it's got Jag or Volvo calipers, definitely Volvo rear. The front pads are coming up saying that they're possibly Jag, so we're looking into that. At the moment, we're thinking if we can get rebuild kits for the brakes, I'll rebuild them and put new discs on and stuff as well, and stick with the size, even though they're quite small, because they were to fit originally in 15-inch. He had 15-inch wets as well as 16-inch dry wheels. But we're going to go to 18s, which we've test fitted, and the rolling diameter is exactly the same as what he had, give or take a few mils, so we won't mess up geometry and things like that. But yeah, so I thought I just wanted to show you guys what the car is like now when we picked it up. It's obviously sat for a fair while in Western Australia, but the bones are there, and I think it's going to be a fantastic car. I'm super excited to get into the rebuild. And it's one of those cars that the more you look at it, the more you fall in love with it. It's got some really cool things on it. And I think, Gary joked that, not that I'm into heaven and hell and all that sort of business, but Gaz joked that, John's probably looking down on us now going, why are you going to change that? I spent years developing that. And, and I think I'm trying to keep that in my mind. Like some of the things you're like, why did he do that? And we're not quite sure why, but the car looks like it's been developed over time. So John's probably tried things and realized they don't work, and maybe we're thinking maybe he's moved the injectors for more power. Like, so if we move them back to the original location, you know, you probably lose 20 horsepower. We don't know, but from his notes that we do have, we don't have all the notes. John didn't keep all notes on the car, but what we do have looks like he has developed and where he can and advance things. And yeah, so we want to try and remain true to the car, but also bring it into modern times. It's a little bit too new to race for historics. So at this point, we don't have to worry about that, because once it becomes historic, it's, you know, it'll be fine whatever we've done, because we're still not in historic time. So of the car's build. So yeah, check it out. It's a super cool car. Can't wait to start bringing you some build photos and rebuild. First, we'll have to strip it down. And yeah, tune in next time, like and subscribe, do all that sort of business. Tell your friends, share it. Rock on. Thunder Down Under. I'm Ray McClurkin. You're awesome. Rock on.